Hey everyone, this is FIDE Master Kostya Kavutskiy here for Chess.com's YouTube channel, and today I wanted to continue my brief recap on the 2013 US Championship. Last time we saw the critical game that Kavutskiy won to earn his title, and today I wanted to switch over to the women's section, which was won by Irina Krush with an amazing score, 8 out of 9. The format for that tournament was a bit different. It was basically a round robin with 10 players, so all play all. And Irina Krush really just blazed through the field and won a lot of games, as you can imagine. I wanted to share with you guys the crucial victory perhaps for her tournament. This game she's playing black against probably her main rival, Anna Zatonskih. You guys probably know that these two have basically traded US Championship wins for the last several years. Either Irina wins it or Anna wins it. And this game, I believe, took place in round 3 and was obviously a critical battle for the overall standings of the tournament. So this position is very tricky and it's pretty complex. Basically, what we've had here is a King's Indian, as you can tell by the locked pawn structure in the center. White was playing on the queen side, black was trying to attack on the king side, and we reached this position after about 40 moves. And black definitely has an advantage here, probably due to this strong light-scored bishop. White doesn't really have an answer for it, and as we can see here, white's king is pretty much going to have some backranking problems for the rest of the game. Notice how white has no way of dislodging this bishop. There's no light-scored bishop to come to f1 to challenge it, and the g3 square is taken away, so the bishop can't be attacked by the queen here, for instance. So because of this, I think black definitely has a really nice practical advantage, meaning it's a lot easier to play black's position here, and the rest of the game followed a pretty interesting path. So white played a4. Here Irina made a good decision. She played bishop takes b6, basically trading off one of her bishops for white's knight, so that after bishop takes b6 she gets to play queen c8, giving her queen access to the c-file and invading white's position. Actually, interestingly enough, even stronger was the move queen d7, sort of threatening to take this pawn on a4, and if something like a5 and now queen c8, this actually makes a big difference because white's bishop doesn't have this a5 square and can't defend the b4 pawn. So basically after queen c4, black is simply winning the b4 pawn and with it the game. And if you'll notice, white has absolutely no counterplay here. Like the queen can come to g5, but let's say queen g5, queen c4, white doesn't have a good check and black is already threatening queen f1 check. So as you can see, this position is really, really dangerous for white. But that was just a small nuance. Irina played queen c8, which is also good. And then Zatonskih traded on b5, queen f2, queen c4. And this is the difference I was talking about here. White is able to play bishop a5 and at least defend this pawn. But the position, of course, is still pretty bad for white and obviously good for black. This bishop is sidelined and out of play, and black's very active queen and bishop are going to create a lot of threats in white's position. So Irina played knight f8, check, knight d7, queen f2. Basically the queen can't stay away from the king too long on account of queen f1 check. Knight f6, gave another check, king g6, queen g1 check. And the point of Irina's knight maneuver here from g6 to f8, d7, f6 is shown by this really brilliant move, knight g4. Basically the knight hops into action, gets pretty close to white's king, and offers it up as a sacrifice to white's f3 pawn. And this is actually a really strong sacrifice. In the game, Anna decided to take this pawn, take the knight immediately, and after queen takes e4 check, knight g2, h takes g4, basically the position is pretty much completely winning for black. They're down a piece, but if you really think about it, this bishop on a5 is not in the game, so practically speaking, black isn't really down any material at all. And in fact, they have too many threats here for white to deal with. For instance, f3 is a threat, as well as just taking this pawn on d5 and pushing their pawns forward. So back here, White definitely should have just tried to hold on a bit longer and play something like knight g2, just controlling the e3 square and just trying to defend the position. But after any move like king h6, for instance, just getting off of the g-file, black is probably winning here. I mean, the queen is coming into e2, and this f3 pawn is hard to defend. The knight might come to e3 at some point, and white is just in serious trouble. But that would have been a better try for a defense. Anyways, as it happened, after f takes g4, black took this pawn with check, knight g2, hg, and yeah, these pawns are too strong, and the bishop and queen are extremely active, and maybe the most important thing here is that black's king is completely safe. You know, if white had some kind of counterplay here, then of course the position would be tricky, but here it's only black creating the threats. So after queen f2, Irina decided to take this pawn. The knight's still pinned. White has no threats, of course. White gave one check, king g7. Now queen c7 check, probably just king h6. White's out of checks and has to retreat with the queen, and then black can play any number of moves. What's so great about black's position is that even if they trade queens here, it gives black great winning chances, but of course that's completely unnecessary. Even better is probably something like just giving check with the queen and some quiet move like queen e2. And black is starting to just start pushing their pawns. So instead, white played bishop c7, desperately trying to get their bishop back into the game. f3, king g1. No real choice here for white. If knight e3, black has a simple f2 check, takes, and mate. Promoting to the rook was also fine, of course. So white played king g1, and now with so many extra pawns in this devastating attack, black is, of course, completely winning, and white could have just resigned here, but the game concluded king f2, check, king g3, and black took another pawn, queen f5, and now Irina found the accurate bishop h3 check, basically leading to mate in 1, king e3, queen e2, mate. So a really nice game by Irina. After this, she was 3-0, having defeated 3 players in the first 3 rounds, and defeating her main rival with black was of course a huge boost and allowed her to capture her 4th US Women's Championship. So with that, I'll sign off, and I'll continue next time with more highlights from the 2013 US Championships. Thanks a lot for listening, and I'll see you around on Chess.com.